There was a man who lived in the African continent in ancient times. He was born not as strong as the other men physically, but mentally he was more acclaimed. He had accumulated more knowledge by studying the way the world works before he then decided the way he would live in the world. And so when he saw the other men who were naturally bigger and stronger, living their lives through violence and degeneracy, fighting each other, killing each other, he would avoid such things, and instead he managed to survive. He managed to procreate. And so to this day, he has managed to pass on his knowledge to his children, to his lineage, because this was a man of structure, not a man of violence. This was what is a man. Please don't talk about it, you can walk about it. If you don't walk about it, you can think about it, dream about it. Fuck it, you can visualize it. Cause none of this shit matters, you don't live about it, breathe about it, blink about it, be about it. Be about it, walk about it, be about it, be about it. Whenever people bring up masculinity, often it is encompassed in this picture of a 6'4", big, tatted, muscled warrior that is ready to go throw it down for Sparta. Right? And that is the idea of traditional masculinity, or at least that's how we interpret traditional masculinity, and that's what everybody aspires towards. That's what people think becoming a man is. And so they're calling us a generation of, demasculinized men because we do not fit those ideal societal expectations for what a man is. However, I think that fundamental idea of what masculinity is and what a man is fundamentally flawed. Take, for example, Marcus Aurelius, right? Often people use a picture of just this masculine, whatever guy to represent Marcus Aurelius. But if you really think about it, there was no need whatsoever for Marcus Aurelius to be that big. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor. Marcus Aurelius had guards. Marcus Aurelius had armies. He had people who were that big, that buff, that ready to fight, that ready to die, to fight for him. And yet none of those people came up with meditations. None of those people were able to run a successful empire. Instead, it was this guy who stayed inside the whole day, probably was not that big because they literally just had less food back then and stuff. So the pictures that we have, the idea that we have of him today, that he's just this big ass conqueror guy, that's absolutely wrong. However, what is an important key takeaway from that is we attribute masculinity with the building of society. For a second, let's talk about God. Why do we assume that God is a man? Think about it. We exist in this world that is created by him, governed by the laws and rules that he has created. And I'm not talking about any religious text telling humans how to behave. No, I'm talking about gravity. You didn't have to cut me off. And if you try to defy gravity, I just try it, just try to fly. You know what happens. You're gonna fall down because the rules are that fundamental. And so, me as a man, I was born to become a man, right? That's fundamentally part of the rules, part of the science. And so I was created with an innate ability to create my own world. That structure, that order, those rules, those values, those beliefs. I was born with the capacity to decide which ones I can operate from in my own world and which ones anybody who comes into my world will have to operate with. Think about what happens when somebody disrespects you. You no longer want to talk to them. You no longer want them to be in your world. Or at least for me personally, that is one of my rules. And so, because the person does not obey the laws of my universe, they don't have to be in it. That's simply it. You can simply just be out of my life. And so, my definition of masculinity is the structure and order needed to create your own world. That is what masculinity is. And a person who does this, a person who then creates their own world, that there is a man. I am Tinoda Semo, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Please don't talk about it, you can walk about it. If you don't walk about it, you can think about it, dream about it. Fuck it, you can visualize it. Cause none of this shit matters, you don't live about it. Breathe about it, blink about it, be about it. Be about it, walk about it, be about it. Be about it.